Hi, children. It's been a little while that I've communicated to you all. Hope all are safe at home. Stay home and stay safe. And hopefully, all are watching the videos which has been uploaded. And the concept which I am trying to communicate through this video is clear to you all. Okay. And I want all of you to read the textbook regularly so that with the video, if you have a habit of reading textbook, then what happens? Everything remains concrete in your head and it becomes easy for you to fall on track of studies once the school reopens. Okay. Now the last video which I uploaded for you all is about the equation of motion. There we have derived three equations of motion, and then I spoke to you about the practical application of these equations of motion. I said we are going to solve the numericals in the next video based on these equations of motion. Okay. And what are the three important equations of motion? The first equation is v is equal to u plus at. Second one, s is equal to ut plus half at square. And third one is v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Okay. So in this particular video, we are going to learn how to solve the numericals which is being given. Okay, so before I get into the solving of these numericals, I would like to communicate few things to you. Okay, so a numerical is something which is very interesting in physics. So what you have to do is there are certain things that you need to be practicing in order to solve this numerical. Only then things would be under your control. Okay, so what are those things? First is whenever a problem is given, especially this kind of a story problem wherein you have the story, the problem is asked through some stories. It is common in maths and physics. Okay, for that thing is like it's not a straight question to you, so you should make an attempt to read the question more than twice. Okay, because there are a lot of hidden things which normally comes through these problems. There would be some clue which is given, so when you read it only once, most of the things you do not come to your understanding, and then maybe once you start off with a wrong note, finally the complete question will go for toss. So what you have to do is read the question twice or thrice to understand the complete question very clearly. Even a single word in the question sometimes give you a clue. Okay, so read it twice or thrice to understand what is the problem all about. Correct. The second thing what you have to do is collect all the data which is given in the numericals and write it down. Okay, then the third thing what you have to do is, now that this video is based on the equations of motion, those three equations should be clear in your mind. Okay, so now with this particular question, with this particular given data, which would be the appropriate formula that I can use? So have it smartly, take out that formula and use it through the problem. You should understand two things there while selecting the right formula. You should know what is given and you should also understand the question, like what is they are asking for. So those two, if you club, you get the right equation which need to be applied there. So apply it, solve it. Finally, one more important thing is the writing units. Do not forget to write the units in any of the numerical, because when you just write the number maybe 20, a 20 can stand for different things. It can be in terms of your counts 1 2 3, it can be in terms of your number of days, it can be in terms of speed, weight, what not. So what happens when you just write it as 20, the answer is actually wrong. So when you think from the board exam point of view, there is a marking even for the units that you write. So what I want all of you to do is right from now have a practice or have a habit of writing the units for all the numericals, so that it becomes easy for you to follow that practice when you come for your board exams. Is that clear? So those are the few important things that should be there in your mind. That is, read the question, understand the question, take out the data, write what is given, choose the right appropriate formula, write the units. Is that clear? So with keeping all these points in mind, let's start doing the numerical. The first question: a train is moving with a speed of 90 km per hour. Brakes are applied so as to produce a uniform acceleration of 0.5 meter per second square. Find how far the train will go before it is brought to rest. So read the question. So what did I understand from this question is, a train is moving and it's moving with a speed of 90 km per hour. Okay, after that a brake is applied. So once the brake is applied, it is slowed down and it is acceleration is minus 0.5 meter per second square. And how far the train will move after the brake is applied before coming to the rest, what is the distance which is covered by the train? That's the question. Correct. So now after that I've understood the question. Sometimes some people can even visualize that question. That will help you much more, in terms of all these. So then I'm going to write the data which is given to me. U, it's my initial velocity, 90 kilometer, it's moving with 90 kilometer per hour. Now because this is in kilometer per hour and the acceleration meter per second square, I'm going to convert this kilometer per hour to meter per second. So 90 kilometers. So kilometer to meter is 90 into 1000, and below R to second, that is R to minute, minute to second. So 60 into 60. So when I simplify this, I get 25 meter per second. That is my U. Final velocity is V because we need to calculate when it's coming to rest. So final velocity here in this particular problem, the train is coming to rest. So final velocity is 0. V is 0. Acceleration is minus 0.5 meter per second square. And you need to calculate how far, that is the distance. So distance is given by S. Distance or displacement in this kinematic equation is given by S. So this is the question mark that I've got. So that is the thing which I need to find out. Now, looking at this and the question, which would be the appropriate formula for this? Now, you have three equations. The first equation, there you are not talking about distance. So, you need to find out distance. So, is there any use in using the first equation of motion? No, that is rolled out. Then you are left with second and third equations of motion, right? The second one is S is equal to ut plus half at square. There you need time. Is this problem talking about some time here? No. So is there any choice for you to use the second one? No. So then I'll move on to the third. Only the equation which is left with me is the third equation of motion. That is v square is equal to u square plus 2as, wherein you know what is initial velocity, you know final velocity, acceleration is given, and it's easy for me to find s. So now is this formula suitable for this particular problem? Yes, this is how I come to a conclusion of which is this appropriate formula for this particular numerical. So I'm going to apply that third kinematic equation, which is given by v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So once a formula has been chosen, things becomes easier. So from here s is equal to v square minus u square by 2a, right? Because the final velocity is 0, you are left with minus u square by 2a, correct? So u is nothing but 25. So minus 25 square by 2 into a is minus 0.5, correct? So that will give you 625 meter when you solve it, because on top numerator and denominator the minus sign gets cancelled. So then what happens, if you simplify it, you get 625 meter. That is, a train before it comes to rest, after applying the brake, it moves to a distance of 625 meters. Is that clear? So finally the train will move a distance of 625 meter before it comes to rest. So this also, if you write this conclusion point of the numerical, if you write, it becomes even more clear. So that also is a very good practice if you start practicing it. Is that clear? Now I've written the unit, and I've written the final conclusion as to I've just answered to the question what has been given. Is this problem clear to you? Okay, now the second question. A trolley while going down an inclined plane has an acceleration of 2 centimeter per second square. What will be its velocity 3 seconds after the start? Here a trolley is there. So just imagine it's going through an inclined plane. It has an acceleration because as it's moving to through an inclined plane, the speed velocity changes, right? So the acceleration is given by 2 centimeter per second square. What will be the velocity 3 seconds after the start? Once the trolley starts moving, what would be its velocity be after it is 3 seconds? Okay, so that's the question. Now I've understood the question. So now let me just write what is given in the formula, in the problem. Acceleration is given, which is given by 2 centimeter per second square, which I'm going to convert to meter per second square. Okay, that is 0.02 meter per second square. Time is given as 3 seconds. Initial velocity, because trolley it is starting from an inclined plane, so before it starts it will be at rest. So initial velocity will be 0. Once it start moving only it will attain some velocity, right? So initial velocity is 0. Here you need to find out what is the final velocity, that is v, correct, moving velocity. Now with this given data, which do you think would be the right formula? Now here I need to find v. I've got t. So if I've got t, the third equation of motion, there is no t at all. So then I'm left with first and second equations of motion. So now it would be easy for me to choose the first equation of motion, which is given by v is equal to u plus at, correct? It's the first kinematic equation because everything which is asked is given here. So I can simplify it. Okay. But see, children, it's not necessary that if you have the content or if you have the data, if you use the second or first any equation, the answer would be the same only. But you should know whether all the parameters which is given in that particular equation is there with you. Then it's okay. Okay. Now I'm using a first equation of motion which is given by v is equal to u plus at. Okay, so which is equal to 0 plus acceleration 0.02 into 3 time, which is given by it's given by 0.06 meter per second. So it can also be written as 6 centimeter per second, correct? So now velocity is 6 centimeter per second 3 seconds after the start. So after the trolley starts off, the velocity of that trolley after 3 seconds is 6 centimeter per second. Is that clear? Okay. Now, the next problem. A racing car has a uniform acceleration of 4 meter per second square. What distance will it cover in 10 seconds after the start? Okay, a racing car is there. It has got an uniform acceleration of 4 meter per second square. Okay, so now what distance will it cover after 10 seconds from the start? After 10 seconds, what would be the distance covered? So what are the things that I know? I know acceleration is 4 meter per second square. Time given is 10 seconds. And initial velocity, because a racing car has a uniform acceleration. So first it will start, right? After the start, that's a question given. See, that's the reason I asked you to read the question. After the start. So here the initial velocity is 0. Correct. Now we need to find the distance which it is traveled. So what will I use here? I use the second kinematic equation because I need to find s. So second or third would be the right one because s is there only in my second and third equation of motion. Now that I have got time, the third would not be suitable because in that I don't have time. So the second kinematic would be the best suited. So I'm going to apply it. S is equal to, because u is 0, so that ut becomes 0. So half at square. So half into acceleration is 4 into 10 into 10, which is equal to 200 meter. So the car will cover 200 meter in 10 seconds. Is that clear? Okay. Now the next one. A stone is thrown in a vertically upward direction with a velocity of 4 meter per second. If the acceleration of the stone during its motion is 10 meter per second square is not there, okay, in the downward direction, what will be the height attained by a stone and how much time will it take to reach there? So now first time no, so second time you read the question. Here in this case a stone is vertically thrown upward. Okay, so it will start initially, it is at rest, you're throwing it, it reaches to a certain height. When it reaches to a maximum height, what happens? After it reaches, it stays for a moment there and then comes back. So that is the maximum height reached by that stone. So after that, what will happen? Immediately it will fall down. Here the velocity, if the acceleration of the stone during its motion in the downward direction is given as 10 meter per second square, okay, and thrown upward with a velocity of 5 meter per second. Is that clear? What will be the height attained by the stone? So to what extent is the stone reaching? What would be the maximum height that the stone will reach while going up? Okay, and how much time will it take to reach there? That's a question. Is that clear? So let's write what is given in this particular thing. U is given, that is your velocity, that is 5 meter per second. Final velocity is 0. Why? Because it is reaching to a maximum height. When it reaches to a maximum height, for a moment it stays there stationary. So there at that particular point only the height will be the maximum. So there v is 0. And acceleration is the acceleration which is given is for downward motion. It's just the opposite to that upward directions. That's the reason I have a minus 10 meter per second square. Okay. Now let the maximum height given be s. Height is again a distance, right? So let it be as s. Now here, first what I will do is I'll use the first kinematic equation, V is equal to U plus AT. Correct? Because for me to find out that S, I need to use my second or third equation of motion, right? So now I don't have enough data there. So for that, what I am going to do is I'm going to use the first kinematic equation with whatever data is given and try to calculate T. So U is 5 plus A is minus 10 into T. So which is equal to 5 minus 10T. So here T is equal to 0.5 second. Now I've got time also. So now to find out S with the value of T, which would be an appropriate equation, this is your third kinematic equation, because first you need to find out, here in this case you need to find out two things, right? First we have to find the time that it is taking to reach that particular point. For that I use the first kinematic equation to find out what time does it take for it to reach. Now I should also find what is that maximum height that it reaches, right? So for that I'm going to use the third kinematic equation, that is V square is equal to U square plus 2AS, which is given by 5 square plus 2 into minus 10 into S, that I don't know, I need to find it, right? Now 25 minus 20S, that is 5 into 5 is 25 minus 2 into 10 is 20S. S is equal to 25 by 20, which is equal to 1.25 meter, right? In this particular question, you should understand the story. I'll repeat once again. A stone is taken, it is thrown vertically upward. Okay, so now that velocity is given, right? So when it is coming down, what is the acceleration that is given? Is that clear? So now what happens? You know the velocity while going on top, okay? The acceleration while coming down, because it is coming in the opposite direction. There I take acceleration as negative. It is coming down, right? It's the opposite direction. So it's a negative acceleration. I'm going to take the value of 10 as minus 10. Is that clear? So the question here is like, when I throw the stone, it reaches to a certain height, which is called as a maximum height. So then it comes down, right? Which is that maximum height that the stone reaches? That's the first, that's one part of the question. And you should also know what does the time that it takes to reach to that particular point. So here you have two questions, right? For that, first I've found out T, the time taken to reach that point, by using the first kinematic equation. And I've used the third kinematic equation because for finding out the distance I need to use either second or third, right? So here I've used the third equation of motion to find out the value of S. I told you, you can use the other equation also if you have all the data in your hand, and just try doing it, you will get the same answer for it. Okay, so there I got the answer as 1.25 meter. That is, it travels to a height of 1.25 meter in 5 seconds. So that's the conclusion of the problem. The stone takes 0.5 seconds to reach the maximum height of 1.25 meter. Is that clear? Okay, now the next one. A motorboat starting from rest on a lake accelerates in a straight line at a constant rate of 3 meter per second square for 8 seconds. How far does a boat travel during this time? So a motorboat is starting from rest. Okay, so these are the things that you have to understand. Starting from rest, it accelerates in a straight line. And what is the acceleration? It is 3 meter per second square. And how long will it continue to travel in that acceleration? It is for 8 seconds. Okay, how far does it travel? So when it moves with the speed of 3 meter per second square for 8 seconds, what is the distance traveled by the boat? That's a question here. Is that clear? So what are the things that is given? U, because it says it is starting from rest. So U is 0. Then you have A, which is given by acceleration 3 meter per second square. Time, it is for 8 seconds, right? So now I need to find out S. So what I will do is, first I'm going to use because S, either it will be there in my second I'll have it in my second equation of motion. So I'm going to, I know I have U, I have A, I have T. So I'm going to use my second kinematic equation, which is given by S is equal to ut plus half at square. So U is 0 plus the complete ut goes 0 plus half into acceleration is 3 into 8 into 8. So now I get 96 meter. Correct? So now The answer is the boat travels a distance of 96 meter during this time. That is, what happens in this particular question is a motor boat with with an acceleration of 3 meter per second square. If it is traveling for 8 distance, it can cover an distance of 96 meter. And here, why did I use the second kinematic equation? Because I need to find S. So my choice is second or third kinematic equation. Correct. So now first equation is out of my mind because I don't have S there. I have only second and third equation of motion, right? Now second equation of motion, because time is given. If time is given, it's always the second equation of motion, because in third I don't have an option of time. So I use the second equation of motion. From that I get the answer as 96 meter. So boat can travel a distance of 96 meter during this time. Is that clear? Okay, now the next one. A ball is gently dropped from a height of 20 meter. If its velocity increases uniformly at the rate of 10 meter per second square, with what velocity will it strike the ground? After what time will it strike the ground? It's just the opposite of throwing stone, but it's somehow the same question, right? Here, what is that? A ball is gently dropped from a height of 20 meter. Just dropped from top, which is 20 meter height, and as it comes down the velocity increases uniformly at the rate of 10 meter per second square. Okay, acceleration is given. What velocity so when it coming to the ground, when it strikes to the ground, what is the velocity of that stone? Correct. And after what time does it strike the ground? There it was height, here it is coming down. Okay, so now let's understand what is given in the problem. Here S is given 20 meters at a height. Okay, acceleration is given as meter per second square, because when it's coming the speed changes, so it's getting accelerated. Simple way to find whether it's acceleration or velocity, you can see the unit. Velocity is meter per second and acceleration is meter per second square. So that will give you, if something is there with meter per second square, that's the acceleration. If you have difficulty in identifying what it is, you can even use that particular trick. And V is a question mark that we need to find. At what velocity is it striking the ground? Initial velocity is 0, because when you are dropping the stone, initially the stone or the ball is at rest, so initial velocity is 0. So did you understand this question? Here a ball is thrown out, so initial velocity is 0. After it is being thrown from a 20 meter height, what happens? The acceleration happens, its speed becomes 10 meter per second square. Okay, so when it is about to strike the ground, what is the velocity of that stone, and what is the time that is taken for that stone or for the ball to strike the ground? So these are the things which has been given to me. So now I need to find two things here again. One is the velocity when it is reaching down, okay, and also time. So first what I'm going to use is the third kinematic equation, which is given by v square is equal to u square plus 2as, because s is given, a is given. So what I'm going to do is apply it like this. So 0 plus 2 into 10a into 20s. So from that I get v square is equal to 400. V square is 400, so v is root of that, which is 20 meter per second. Correct. Now first part of the question is answered, that is at what velocity does it hit the ground? So that is 20 meter per second. I also need to find out the time that it takes to strike the ground. So that is a question mark. So for that I'm going to use the first kinematic equation, that is v is equal to u plus at. I'm going to apply the things. T is equal to v minus u by a, that is 20 minus 0 by 10, that is acceleration is 10. I get it as 2 seconds. Correct. So now the answer is it takes 2 seconds for the ball to reach the ground, and when it is striking the ground, the velocity of that stone is nothing but 20 meter per second. So the final conclusion is the ball will strike the ground with a velocity of 20 meter per second, and in 2 seconds it will happen. Is that clear? Okay. Now with this we are going to complete we have completed few numericals. Okay, hopefully this particular numerical is clear to you all. What I want all of you to do is solve this numerical. So again play this video, And then what I want all of you to do is, with this video, try to solve all the numerical which I've solved in this video. Okay. So with this, I will give you few questions connected to this as your practice question, so that you can solve, so that becomes even more easier for you. Okay. After this, I want all of you to read the textbook. If you have any questions related to these things in your textbook, try and attempt to solve it. Okay. If you find any difficulties, please approach me with your doubts. Is that clear? So until I communicate to you with my next video, I want all of you to take care of yourself. Okay. Thank you and bye.